Alrighty, we're pleased to have on today from London, Ontario, third round draft pick to the NHL for the Calgary Flames, a Mem Cup champ, an OHL champ, a champion in general. After all that, we're pleased to have on today Brandon Prust.
What's up, guys? How are you?
We're good. I'm pumped to rock this out because it's been a while since I've done a podcast because right now we're in playoffs, as you know.
Yeah.
I'm so tired. We won last night, 2-2 series tie. Boys are buzzing. Didn't play like pussies, like you said, so we're good. And
ask for a little advice. It's about all I had. It's about all I had.
Well, I thought you'd have a better speech as you played for like Dale Hunter and the London Knights, and you'd have some.
It's hard to text a speech. It's hard to do that. You got to be in there. If I was in the dressing room, I would have been able to give a better one. I would have given a Tortorella speech for you.
Playing for London, you should have just sent the money back.
Yeah.
How are your teeth? Holy shit!
Well, maybe
I got some new ones after I retired.
They're looking good, buddy.
Yeah,
looking good.
Well, I knocked this one out when I was playing for the Knights when I was like 20, and they found it on the ice, like the whole root and everything came out. So they found it on the ice, and they gave it to me. Said go to the dentist. So I went to the dentist, and I had two nurses on top of me jamming it back into my face, and then they just did a root canal, and it kind of stuck for about 15 years. Near the end, it started getting a little like discoloration. I was like, all right, I need a new grill now.
It sounded like a porno there for a second.
Yeah, I know. Hey, it was that's like the good part, with the two nurses on top. Putting that back in my head.
I'm just going to leave that right there in case there's any young listeners.
Yeah, or my mom and dad. Pruster, you cameraman missile. So you must be smiling all the time now with those fake jibs now of yours in photos.
I still don't smile that much, actually. I still got the big underbite, so I like to keep my mouth closed as much as possible.
Fair enough. Okay, Brandon, man, I want to go first off, how are things with you? What's new and what's going on in your life right now?
Not too much since I retired. I started working for the financial company that took care of me when I played navigator, and opened up a pizza place with one of my buddies here in London. Was doing some work with the Knights as well, but right now I'm in the middle of opening up a training facility to start training some athletes. So I'm in the middle of that, doing lots of work on that. So it's at the beginning stages, but just trying to build everything up and get it ready for hopefully have that up and running by September.
What's the pizza place called? BP's?
No, it's called Doughboys.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's good pizza.
Hey,
so you're in London?
Sorry, go on.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm in London, Ontario.
Okay,
so that's where I'm from, London. So
perfect. So wow, that's wild to just go back there. So what kind of stuff did you get up to growing up in London?
Oh, all good stuff. Never gotten in any trouble. I don't know. Well, once playing, I just played minor hockey here in London. I didn't play. I never played AAA until kind of my draft year. I tried out for AAA and ended up getting cut and played AA my draft year to the OHL. And then I played AAA the year after that. And then I got kind of scouted to go play junior B. So I was playing junior B when I was kind of 17. And then I was a walk-on with the Knights when I was 18. So, but I just growing up here in London, I just played kind of four city, city hockey. It wasn't, it wasn't AAA or anything like that. But I was always a pretty solid hockey player. So just kept grinding away.
Right on. Love
Brandon, before we get into all the good things you've done in your career, I want to ask, because I saw the other day on your Instagram story, I believe, you were shooting pucks in like a homemade facility. I believe it's real ice or maybe it's synthetic, but where's that? Is that kind of what you're going into now and doing that training?
Yeah, that's the gym I'm building is actually right beside that. It's called the Hockey Studio here in London. Okay. And there's just happened to be an open 7,000 square foot place right beside it. So that's kind of when I started getting the idea to do this gym, but it's real ice. And I've become friends with the owner, Chris Billingsley. He built this. It used to be synthetic ice. It was called the Snipe Academy, and it was kind of 3 little, for kids to come in and work on their shooting and stick handling and stuff like that. But he turned it into an actual ice pad, and it's about, I'd say the quarter the size of a rink.
Yeah.
But it's great for working on, just quick feet, stick handling, shooting, good for goalies. So it's going to be kind of a great add-on with the gym to be able to kind of move back and forth if you want to do any on ice stuff.
Awesome, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to say in the world, but I may be wrong, but I'm going to be positive on this one. You played for one of the most iconic junior franchises in the world, not only for 1 year, but 3 years. Walk us through that experience. Obviously you played with, one of our boys and you're probably your good buddy, Rob Schremp. Just walk us through, your 3 years there and just some experiences you had in London.
Yeah, it was kind of it was a pretty, obviously a dream come true for me. I grew up watching the London Knights. So my dad took me every Friday to the Knights games. And, I'd be anywhere from 4 years old till I was probably 8 to 10, I would go with my dad and his buddies and just sit there, and they would go out for beers in between periods. And I would just sit and watch Zamboni go around, and that was my life every Friday. So for me to make the London Knights as a walk-on, and then the build up to my last year of us having the team of the century, and going 31-0 to start the season, or 31 unbeaten, and then winning the OHL Cup and winning the Memorial Cup in front of my hometown, and bringing those first championships to London was pretty awesome. So that's I would say some of the most memorable hockey moments of my life for sure.
So the 04-05 season, sorry, Tori, I'm pumped about this because I love winners. I love talking to winners. 04-05 season, you play with guys like Schremp, Perry, Girardi, Mathot, Sievert, like Christ, this list goes on. Oh, and Brandon Prust. So,
Boland, and
was it Dave Boland? Was he there?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. There's money flying around there for sure back then, but this team is unbelievably stacked. How
people just love going. I don't know why people think everybody has the conception that the Knights are paying guys and they're not doing anything else.
I know, just
so. But
look at y'all's
guys love coming to London. I mean, you can get a kid that's committed to college, and maybe Kingston Frontenac's come to him. He's going to be like, nah. London Knights come to him. He's going to be like, well, look at this program they built, and they turn amateurs into pros, and they do it real quick. So I think that's the thing with the London Knights. They get the players because players want to be there.
So he obviously has had a lot of fun. He has won, a Memmer and an OHL Cup. Obviously with that team, it's just so good. And like, obviously we're just teasing about the whole money thing, but like, when you create a culture, people want to go there. And like, I'm starting to, when I recruit guys, I want to bring guys into a culture and say, hey, we're going to get you to junior A, get you to college. That's my goal as a coach. And obviously, hopefully win some games. I'm sure the Hunter brothers did that. You guys obviously enjoyed going there, as you mentioned. Just how much fun did you guys have going to the rink, though? Obviously, winning all the time is fun, but it must have made it so much easier waking up in the morning.
Yeah, it's kind of, they got a great culture going in there, and they take care of the players. They're NHL guys, so they know how. Even when I go in now, and Dale won't be doing the video and stuff. I'll be like, Dale, wait, you're not doing that video anymore? Like the game recap, or kind of pregame or whatever. He goes, Prusty, they get tired of my voice. They get tired and they need a different voice. So I mean, he gets that, and that's even in NHL. Like sometimes as the coach is talking too much, you're like, geez, shut the heck up. Are there kids listening to this? I can't swear. Right?
No, you're good. What works, bless you.
But they get it. They know what they're hard on their players, but they also want them to be having fun, right? So it's a great environment in there, and again, that's another reason why everybody wants to play in London.
One quick one about that last season in London. I was looking at your hockey DB. In the playoffs, 15 games played, 71 PIMs. That's pretty nice.
Yeah,
what happened?
And because we won every series, basically 4-0 or 4-1, right? So, but there was a lot of battling, right? We played Kitchener. I know the one round. I think most of them would have come from that just that series alone. So, and I think I ended up getting suspended actually a couple games. I think it was against Kitchener. I think I smoked. I smoked the lash off, I think, and I got a couple games. So I missed the first game against Ottawa in the finals. But there was some. Even though we were kind of smoking teams, you're still at competitive edge where you need to hit some guys, you need to fight some guys, and even Memorial Cup we were up 3-0, and I got in a fight, like pointless fight, but. You got to do it.
Did you get an award for that? It says you won the most penalized award. Literally what it says on your elite prospect, most penalized player. I mean, they give you a plaque.
What, really?
That's what it says.
They haven't sent it to me yet. I want that.
Okay. I want to go to your draft here now. Tori, any more in London here? We already established that they do get paid.
We're good. Let's talk about
or don't get paid. Sorry. Drafted to the Calgary Flames in the 04 draft. Went on to play 70 games or so for them. I love asking this question. Well, there's a couple, I guess. How special was that day for you and your family? And two, we love draft stories, like guys that are sitting there sweating through their suits and this and that. So any funny stories from that day, and also how special was it for you?
Yeah. Well, I went down with my parents and my sister. So just kind of a family thing. And it was in Raleigh, North Carolina. And I remember kind of the hunters and some staff, GM, assistant GM, Jim McKellar, who's a head scout with the Chicago Blackhawks now. And, they were kind of telling me, don't think you're going to go first day. Like you're a second day kind of guy, right? You're 20 years old. I was 2 years older than everybody else. So I remember Jim McKellar, he's a bit of a bigger guy. He goes, Prusty, if you go first day, I'll do cartwheels down the stairs. So, I think I saved my better suit for the second day. Like I didn't really wear my A suit. Not that I had any A suits back then, but, and then, early on in the third round, the Flames step up and draft me. And I was kind of shocked. And Daryl Sutter kind of jumped. We were sitting there, and the Calgary Flames kind of, team area, whatever you call it, was kind of right by us. So Daryl jumped over the boards and sat with my mom and dad. And as I'm going around meeting everybody, Daryl's sitting and chatting with my dad, kind of hockey and why they picked me, and they love what I did with the Knights and stuff. So that was pretty awesome. So I always remember that, Daryl coming over, and the GM Jim McKellar. He still hasn't done those cartwheels he promised me, but I bust his chops every time I see him.
That's awesome.
Drew hates when I do this. I'm going off script.
So
you played for Calgary, the Rangers, Montreal, Vancouver, and a cup of tea in Phoenix, I believe it was. How did you keep ending up in places with high tax?
Oh man, seriously. When you see that paycheck, I mean, it's good to see that paycheck, but when you see how much when you see how much the government's taken from you, you're like, oh, mother. But I mean, I guess, Calgary wasn't too bad, but I wasn't really making that much. But Quebec and New York were, those are they try and take it all there.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
So I think it was with New York, if I'm not mistaken. But I was again looking at your hockey DB, and you had in a 5-year period. You had 3 years with 82 games played.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, you think you're Keith Yandel, or what's going on here?
Yeah, I know. And then, I kind of, when I got to Montreal, I had the first year in Montreal, we had the lockout, so didn't have many games going there. And then, but in New York, I played two full seasons in New York. And I was injured. I had the torn labrum the 1 year. So I was about half the year I was playing with torn labrum in my shoulder. and had it fixed after the season. And then the next year I tore a tendon in my finger, and I played through that because it was like a contract year. And they're like, well, we can fix it. You're going to be out for 3 months. And I'm like, well, what's going to happen to it? They're like, well, you won't be able to bend your finger ever again. And I was like, screw it. I'm not sitting out 3 months. Now I can't bend my finger.
Oh, wow.
I've never seen that.
But I mean,
You're an animal.
I ended up finishing off the season strong, and then I signed a big contract with Montreal. So I'll chop off a finger. I'll chop off a finger for that.
How hard is it to fight with that?
Stavios.
Well, that was one thing, because that's my grabbing on hand. So I ended up struggling a little bit just with the grip, because like you can't really tuck.
Oh yeah.
I just can't tuck that finger, right? So even like when I'm lifting weights, if I'm doing deadlifts or farmer walk, like you kind of start losing your grip on that weight, because if you don't have that finger working, it's a little tough. So I actually started taping my finger before games. I would tape it already bent, because and I even saw some pictures, but I remember there was a couple of fights where I'd go to grab the guy and my finger would get caught on his face. So I'd have his jersey like this, but my finger would be up like this. So I started taping it bent, so that when I went to grab, my finger was already in that bent position, so it wouldn't get stuck on his.
How the hell did you get your glove on?
Well, it would just kind of,
the one finger was crusted up.
Just kind of curl right in there. It would just kind of curl. So I was at a strong grip of my stick.
Attaboy.
Jace, speaking of contracts, I want to ask a question. What was one of the things that you bought with your first paycheck? Would you buy a big car or like a new toy?
Yeah, I bought with my first year when I signed, and I went to Omaha. I played in Omaha my first couple of years AHL, and I bought a BMW 330i.
Oh.
That was kind of my first big purchase. Yeah.
Hey, actually, here's a question. Playing in New York, did you guys drive to the rink and then like parked in the underground parking? Like I was one of this. So that Joey played in Detroit, Joey Koser, and I get it that the fans want to see them and get tickets and sign autographs. But when they go in that little garage, don't people ever wait by the doors after you get late autographs and stuff, or you just buzz out?
Yeah. In Montreal, our practice facility and even the rink after in the Bell Center, like tons of fans. So you'd have like some guys would try and wait for like one guy to like kind of take that. So then they would pull around them and leave. And but there was always tons of fans in New York though. So we drove to practice. Practice facility was 40 minutes outside of kind of Manhattan where we stayed, 30 minutes from Upper West Side. But when we lived a little more downtown, it was going up to Tarrytown, kind of White Plains area, I guess. But going to the game, I would just jump out, suit, and I would just hail a cab, jump in a cab, and I was at the rink in 5 minutes. I lived 5-minute cab ride right up the same street, one-way street, and I would just jump out and same door all the time. And then when I left the game, hail a cab, like
really
out the back door. Yeah.
See, I was wondering that. Like, I was wondering.
Can you walk around without getting recognized?
In New York, yeah, and you do get recognized, and people just say, they don't really bother you. It's not
good
like
game. Your power play sucks tonight. Worked on that.
Love you, Prust. Great tilt. Whatever. Like, yeah, like. But there is the fans, like the hardcore fans, though, that do, wait for you, and you see them. But there's also a lot of fans that are just walking by kind of down the street, and people will holler at you, right? So the Rangers, they got there's a lot of Ranger fans in there in New York, and yeah, they know their stuff and they know their players. So it was pretty cool.
So we had Cam Jansen on a while back. And if I'm not mistaken, you guys had a nice little brawl with the Devils. What was going through your head when that was going on?
Well, Cam and I have fought probably 10 times, I would say, in our careers. So I think he's the guy I fought the most, I'm pretty sure.
I bet you guys get along.
Yeah, for sure. Like that's, you have that mutual respect for guys like that. And we both knew our jobs. And yeah, we had that. He actually broke my jaw too with a little blindside elbow back in my first year in Calgary. and I missed about 3 months. And we called to apologize and stuff, but we still fought the next game back. And it was. What were we? Oh yeah, you were asking about the New Jersey, the line brawl. So we were playing the Devils, MSG, and we've been battling kind of all season. And Torts comes in and he goes, Pete DeBoer is the coach of Devils. He goes, this motherfucker, he's starting fucking, all their tough guys, right? And we're lined up, and I'm not lined up with Cam, so I'm like trying to switch so that I can fight Cam, and Rupper can fight. Oh my God.
I just watched it last night.
Bolton. Right. Yeah. And Bolton's tough. And I fought him already that year. And I was like, okay, do I have to go Bolton again? I'd rather go Jansen now. And so we kind of kept switching because we got last switch. So I was like, Rupper, you got Bolton. And then we moved up our defenseman to play forward. And he was asking him to take the draw. And we're like, don't worry about winning the face off. So as soon as the puck drops, all three guys full out, just start going at it. And oh man, MSG was just rocking that night. And like right after that, it was chaos. So, and then Torts and Pete DeBoer started yelling at each other because like Torts was like, listen, boys, like they're starting their meatheads. He's like, I'm not saying do anything, but we're not backing down. We're starting you guys. We're not backing down. And that's basically like, let's go. But then Torres was like, look at that, you did this, right? So it was fun though.
I know they ask this all the time on the other hockey podcasts, but not that this is a hockey podcast. We just like having hockey players on. But like the day of, like, say you're playing a Cam Jansen or, you name the tough guy, like, how's that day? Are you thinking about it all day, or are you kind of just like, you're just going to work?
That's one thing I don't miss is the
anxiety
and the stress and the anxiety. Even, the day before, I mean, you know who you're playing, and you know that either I'm going to go ask him because maybe our team's lost 2 games in a row. Maybe I'm playing like shit and I need to spark myself. And it might be, I'm going to ask Cam tomorrow, and he's not going to have a choice. He's got to fight me. And then there might be like, all right, I've already fought twice this week. Like maybe I don't have to fight tomorrow, but I'm playing Jansen. He's probably going to ask me. So then you're kind of stressing, and I always did my homework just to, watch fights of the guys who I was playing against to see what their tendencies were, see how they switched up. I was more of a smart fighter than a stand and go toe to toe. I got plenty of concussions. I didn't need 400 more. So, but yeah, you definitely stress about it. And it's crazy to think that I was still able to have a pregame nap and fall asleep some afternoons because, I think because I knew I was a smart fighter, I knew I could, handle myself. So,
yeah.
But I would, before the game in the dressing room, if I knew I was going to be fighting somebody tough, I was, I was definitely pacing and not really talking to anybody, So the games when you don't have the fighter, there's no tough guys out there. I was definitely a little more joyful in the room and joking around with the guys and whatever. But if there was a tough guy over there that I knew I was going to be going, it was pretty quiet.
I just love hearing the respect you guys all have for each other and stuff. Like just little stories like, especially like young fighters, if you want to call them fighters, guys that fight, being like, man, I really need one tonight. And it's like, all right, I'll go just to try to help them out.
Yeah.
Been there.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So when I was young too, and I was trying to make a name, and, some older guys would kind of be like, beat it, punk. But some guys would give it to you, right? And if guys didn't really won't give it to you, then you had to just be a dick out there and run somebody and make them come fight you. So there was sometimes when if we were up 2-0 or something, and someone's coming to fight me, and I'm like, listen, we can't just I'm not just going to do something and I'll fight you. If you run somebody, then we're going to go. But I'm not just going to drop my gloves off a face-off just so you can spark your team, spark them a different way. And I'll then I'll answer the bell. But so yeah, there's all those little games inside the game.
So hold on now, because we talked about the fighting, and you can do that. You could also score though. Let's talk about your first NHL goal. Who was it on, and where was it, and how was it? Describe the goal.
Let's see, it's right here.
Oh, sick! I love it.
That was against Phoenix, and let's see, goaltender, Telquist, assist, Primo, and yeah,
Which one?
First
Wade?
period.
Keith.
What's that?
Which
Wade.
Primo? Wade.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you remember the shot now? There was like high glove.
So, yeah, it was hot. Yeah, it was. So it was a 2-on-1. It was a penalty kill, and I think I blocked a shot or something, or maybe Preem's blocked a shot. I forget, but we ended up getting a fast break 2-on-1, and he slid it over to me, and I kind of just one-timed it, and yeah, just over his shoulder as the goalie as Telquist was sliding across. So,
Fucking right.
yeah, that was it.
Hey, you weren't going high and wide though. Hey, that's good. You didn't start the break go for the Yotes the other way.
No, I think I went middle of the net. The goalie just didn't get over.
That's awesome. Brandon, I want to ask, you mentioned earlier the practice facilities. We had 100 NHL guys on. I'd never asked this question yet. Why do they have practice facilities, and why don't they practice ever in their home barn? Well, I mean, they do practice obviously sometimes, but like, why don't they during the week or whatever?
I think just because your setup at the practice facility is just much better, especially in some arenas like MSG. They might have something going on, or they might still be cleaning up, but Montreal, it's just in your practice facility. I think there's more, the coaches have more access to all their computers are there. They don't, that's where they've been game planning maybe for, the last couple of days. So it's just something comfortable. And then, I know we have in Montreal, we had, all our food there. We had like a buffet.
Wow.
Basically we had a chef, so he was making our breakfast and our lunch for us. So that's why they did that kind of at the downtown, but it was just easier. Everything was easier kind of at the practice facility. Also, guys used to, in Montreal, a lot of guys lived out by the practice facility, so it was easier for them. I always live kind of downtown, so it was harder for me, but yeah. But yeah, I think that's kind of why guys are just comfortable with the practice facility, and yeah, it's just an easier setup.
Brandon, when you were in Calgary, I want to ask two questions here again. Who was your roommates, and did you ever play with Dustin Boyd, whether it was Montreal or Calgary? That guy was a good player for the Moose Jaw Warriors, man. I used to watch that guy play all the time. Curly, perm.
Yeah. I played with Boyder for like 3 years, I think 3 or 4 years in the minors and in our first year in the NHL. So yeah, Boyder. Well, I had to stick up for Boyder when he got smoked by Steve McIntyre. It was early in my first full year, and Steve McIntyre just crushed Boyder, almost killed him, and then I had to go in and fight back. So that was one of my more scary fights that I got into for sure.
He ain't small. Who was your roommates when you were
I never roomed with anybody. But in the minors, Eric Nystrom was my roommate for a couple of years. Ryan Donnelly, Grant Stevenson. Those were kind of Nystrom was my first roommate in pro in Omaha, and he's still one of my best buddies to this day.
Number 23 for the Calgary Flames, buzzing down the left side.
Whoa.
Oh yeah, I know more about hockey back then than I do now.
How's the golf game, Brandon?
It's not bad. It's not bad. Ups and downs, but not a bad summer last year. Won a member guest and a member. So
whoa,
it was all right.
Win.
Double Dutch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, shocker! All this guy does is win. He wins an OHL member guest.
That's about it's in golf tournaments. Never won a cup or anything though.
Do you play at London Hunt?
I do, yeah, and the Oaks.
Not a bad track.
Yeah, great track.
What's the other one there? Redwood or something?
Redtail. Yeah,
Redtail.
We golf out there lots as well. Redtail, the Oaks, and the Hunt are kind of the three courses we like to play.
Y'all are spoiled, man.
Yeah. Red Tail is a really cool place. Yeah.
What's your handicap sitting at?
I think I'm like a 9.6 right now.
Oh, that'll work.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
be great match play partners. Perfect.
Yeah, right in that little meaty part right there.
I like it. Prusser, let's. I want to ask. Obviously, we got you on through Rob Shrimp. Your time in Europe, it wasn't a long time, but what was it like? The experience, obviously, the time change we talked about with one of our co-hosts is playing now over in England for the Guildford Flames. Or that team.
Yeah.
Walk us through your time over in Europe, and just how was it?
It was awesome, actually. I had a great time. We had a good team. We had a good bunch of guys. I came over. I was with the Leafs for the first kind of 3-4 months there, and I signed in Germany early December and came over, and it ended up being a lot of fun. And like I said, we had a great team. And I had Danny Servette, who I played with the Knights, and we ended up trading for Shrimpy. And there's lots of North American guys that we played with or we played against throughout our career. So and just kind of the way of living over there in Europe is, you get a different taste of it. And it was pretty cool. It was a good experience. But you're kind of in that different time zone. You're away from all your family and friends, so it was tough that way. A lot of lonely nights, and trying to stream some Seinfeld or something because all the channels are German, so there's not much going on over there. So yeah, it was. No, it was fun. I had a great time, and we had a good team, and we had a chance to do well in the playoffs. We fell short. The one thing I hated over there was the reffing was so bad.
Really?
Oh man, it'd drive you insane. The worst reffing I've ever seen in my life. It was it was so bad. I had dreams of killing refs, man. It was bad. Dreams of just shooting pucks at refs, and oh man, it was so bad.
That is gold.
That's perfect.
Question from the gallery, Drew?
Let's go to our segment called Questions from the Gallery, sponsored by Rubber Co. Rubber Co. is a company founded in 2021, made out of 100% recycled tires. We have rubber ramps, rubber parking blocks, rubber flooring for rinks and gyms, and now we have rubber hockey devices for training aids. You can check the website out today at www.rubberco.com or call today at 306-541-9840. Think with your head and choose the right rubber.
I can't get over having dreams about killing refs. This is a problem.
Oh yeah, it was a problem. It was an issue.
Okay, the Rubber Co. Questions for the gallery. Number one, we asked this to call me way 100 episodes ago. It's always a good one. Some guys don't like to tell it because they don't want to say or sewer someone, but he sewered one of the best defensemen of all time. Cheapest guy you played with?
Cheapest guy I played with. Oh man, there was a lot. There was a lot. One that we used to always chirp all the time was Thomas Plekanec. He was yeah. He was
old turtleneck.
Huh? Yeah, old turtleneck. Oh, I used to give it to him all the time to put money up on the board.
Really? Did he get chirped for that lots by the guys on the other teams and stuff and teammates?
I don't know if it was that well known, but
why did he wear that thing?
For the turtleneck, did he get chirped? I don't know. I never heard. I think he did it, but he didn't care. He kept wearing it.
Remember the one team photo? Everyone on the team got it. They wore a turtleneck for the team photo.
Yeah,
the best thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. I think he got chirped, but after a few years,
that was his thing.
They keep chirping a guy for his turtleneck. He didn't really care. So yeah,
it's a pullover. Thanks for noticing.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So this one's from my dad.
Good question here.
Did you ever pay for a jersey number when you went to a new team?
No, I never did. No, because when I went to Montreal, number 8 was available, and when I went to New York, number 8 was available. So I never really had I wasn't the a top line guy where I'd come in and like if I got traded to Washington, hey Ovi, how about please sign that number right up and give it to me.
Yeah. What's the most you ever heard of someone paying, or the most expensive
well,
gift?
I know when we traded for Ryder the one year, he wanted number 73, I think it was, which was Brendan Gallagher was wearing, or 70, 73,
Yeah.
73, I think. And Ryder wanted that, so he said, "Hey, if you give me that number, I'll buy you a Rolex." And so Gallagher was like, "Yeah," he was a rookie, he didn't care. He's like, "Yeah, sure." So that's when he switched to number 11, and he's still waiting for his Rolex.
Shit.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh,
So he's still bringing it up to him. He goes, "Yeah, never got a Rolex, and never got nothing."
Got a way better number though.
Yeah.
Who's one of the best teammates of all time, you'd say, for you?
Oh man. I had lots of good teammates. It's so hard to pick. I mean, man, like I said, like I'm still like my best buddies, Rene Bork, Eric Nystrom, Todd Bertuzzi, like those guys, Dave Boland, those guys. But Bowles I played with in junior, so I never got to play with him pro. But I'm still great friends with Lundqvist and Pricer. Brian Boyle was really close with in New York, and Del Zotto, Brad Richards I'm still close with, golf with him a couple months ago in Florida. So there's so many guys you meet along the way, and that are still, it's hard to pick
it's a tough question.
It's a tough question. PA Parentos, I haven't talked to him in a couple of years, but we had a great time together when we played together in Montreal. So there's lots.
Was Lundqvist single when you played with him?
No, he wasn't.
Okay, because I was going to say, I bet you guys did some damage.
Yeah, we would have for sure. I just came in and told him the stories. I made him want to be single.
Hey, I know it's a cliche question you've been asked a million times, but I'm always curious. Your favorite and least favorite, like rinks/cities.
Favorites, least favorites. Well, MSG is up there for sure as one of the coolest places to play, and even Bell Center, especially during playoffs. I did love going to Philly and Boston and those, where the fans are kind of on top of you and they're rowdy. Those are always
hostile environments. Yeah.
I mean, Phoenix is just, I remember when I got traded to Phoenix, I came out for warm up first game. It's like, all right, whatever, I'm getting pumped up. And then there's nobody really in the stands. And then I came out, to jump on the ice for the first period. And I was kind of all pumped up. And I remember my adrenaline pumping. And I jumped on the ice. And I still are we still in warm-ups? It's just like, it's like nobody there. And I was like, oh, that sucks. But, great barn, but just not enough fans for it, So
you could see both fans.
But even Tampa was great. I played a lot of games in Tampa, especially in the playoffs, and something about that warm weather, and then the fans are really good there and loud. So that's a great place to play as well.
Favorite beverage after a round of golf?
Favorite beverage after the round of golf?
Or during?
Yeah,
water.
Yeah.
After a round of golf, I would say well, if it's not a beer, maybe like a Manhattan or something. I don't mind a Manhattan. I like to start my round with a Caesar to start it off. And then,
really? Okay.
Yeah, I don't mind a nice cold beer after the round is always good.
Pregame and maybe the day of a game day. What were your rituals and pregame meal and whatnot?
Oh yeah, so pregame meal, I would always just, crush chicken and pasta. It wasn't too, salad. A little bit of ice cream after, but very big on my nap. Always
Really?
big, just a little ice cream. There was always ice cream. There was always lots of ice cream there. So everyone always crushed ice cream. Most guys, anyway. The cool guys.
Yeah.
Cool. You have the nerds that are
Me and
just,
Lundqvist were just crushing ice cream, so it's perfect.
yeah.
Crushing other things too.
But yeah, and I was big on, I needed always had my pregame nap. I was napping since I was probably 9 years old. I remember coming home from school and getting a nap in before my game, and yeah, so naps were always big on my game days. I'm playing in a charity game Saturday here just outside of London in Lucan, and my girl asked me if I wanted to go for lunch, like 2 with a couple of her friends. I was like, man, that's my nap time. I got a charity game. I got a charity game at night. I got a nap.
That's deadly.
That's hilarious.
Hey, I saw you got traded for Cassian. Did you ever fight him?
You know what? I don't think we never really crossed paths that much, like he was always in the West and I was always in the East. So we never played each other that much. And I guess it just never really happened. Yeah, I'm not sure why. I think I thought I asked him one time and he said no. They might have been up a goal or 2 or something, and he turned it down. So but yeah, I don't think I ever fought him. No.
Speaking of pregame naps, so this is why I never did it. It's probably why I was always grumpy on the ice. But I am notorious for my phone not going off during alarms, and everyone thinks I just sleep in, but my phone doesn't work. Have you ever slept in for like a pregame skate or anything like that?
Oh no, I don't think so. That is like, yeah, one of the biggest fears, and I still have. That's another thing I would have reoccurring dreams.
Right, it is. It's scary shit.
Reoccurring dreams. So I would set like 3 alarms definitely on my phone. Yeah, you always worried maybe your phone dies or something. But no, I never really. I think I might have actually one time in Montreal been late and snuck in. I texted the trainer and snuck in kind of the back door. He had my gets ready for me at the back door. So I just ran into kind of like the team stretch. So I kind of got lucky that way, but that's like a reoccurring dream for, I don't know if I'd say for any athlete. For me is like not being able to like get out on the ice on time, like not being able to get your skate lace tied, or like your skate lace breaks, or you're having an equipment malfunction and you can't get on the ice. Man, I'd have those dreams like every couple of weeks, just wake up sweating, or your alarm not going off. So yeah, that's,
you know what the worst is when you're getting dressed and you blow a lace, and then now it's like you're sweating. Who has laces? And you're just melting, and everything you prepared for is just gone. Now it's like just get ready down the ice. It's happened before.
Yeah, it's a big fear. Those dreams are in between dreams of killing refs.
My last question. I'm taking this for Troy, our normal co-host.
My bro.
Your bro. Your dream foursome playing golf, dead or alive, any human being.
Oh, Tiger
or Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. Tiger for sure. I'd say Tiger
Williams.
No, Tiger, the Tiger Woods, for sure. Tiger Woods. I would love to play with Michael Jordan. I played at his course. This is Brad Richards took me. This is the Grove in Florida.
We got to hear about that. Cancel the question. Let's hear about 23.
So this was like a couple months ago. I was in Florida with Boland and my other buddy Cam, and we were planning on leaving like the Thursday, and I was texting Richie because we wanted to go play the Grove. He's a member there. So the only day he could do was Friday. So we end up moving our flights so that we're flying out Friday night so we can play the Grove Friday morning. And, we get there and Wayne Gretzky's sitting there before he goes. He's teeing up a couple groups in front of us. Wayne was my coach in Phoenix. So I knew Wayne, and we went and chatted with him. So we're out golfing, and I'm like, is Michael here? And Richie's like, I don't think he is, because when he's here, he's here. He's got 8 buddies. They all have their own cart. They zoom around here in about 5 hours playing 36 holes. He's like, Michael will be teeing off while the guys are still putting. Like, they don't wait. They don't wait for you. Like they're just gambling and they're going. So they're just, they'll wait for you kind of at the tee. They're not going to take off. But if Michael finishes off first, like, he's going to the next tee, he's teeing off. And the other guys are kind of finished. As soon as you're finished, you keep going. So they zoom around there in 8 carts. And but unfortunately, he wasn't there. He wasn't there that day. So, but after we finish, about 5 minutes, like, we didn't even know this, but 2 groups behind us was Dustin Johnson. So he comes in and he sits with Wayne right beside our table. So we said hi to them, and yeah, it's a really cool place. And
Wow.
yeah, it was quite the experience. The clubhouse is amazing. The course is brand new, so it's still got maturity to do. I think in 10 years it's going to be amazing. But it's a brand new course, and I was a little disappointed. So I think that's why Michael Jordan would be on my list to golf with. I've heard a lot of funny stories about him on the golf course, and so next time I get invited to the Grove, I'm going to be looking for him.
Dude, just pinch yourself right now. You just talked about playing Michael Jordan's course, and you saw Wayne Gretzky there. Are you fucking kidding me right now?
DJ.
And DJ.
And DJ. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, but
holy shit,
it was awesome.
Unreal.
So Wayne Gretzky.
Oh, who are the last two?
Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan.
Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan. I mean, I do love DJ as well. Like, I would really like to play with him. Who else?
Paulino.
Let's see. I don't know. It's tough. Elon Musk, maybe. I'm a big universe guy, so I'd be talking.
Oh, that's what Cam Jansen said too. Cam said,
really?
Elon Musk, that motherfucker, some crazy stories. I bet. I'd love to play golf.
Yeah, I know. I think he'd be pretty cool. So, yeah.
Wow. Okay, I have one more here, and usually we finish a podcast off with this one. Actually, no, I have 2 more. I lied. What is the highest bill that you've seen at maybe a rookie dinner or just over the boys? Credit card roulette. I saw it one time on that HBO 24/7 in New York. So,
yeah. That one they split up between the 2 tables. But there was one time well, I'll tell you, my rookie party, there was 4 rookies, and it was there was 4 of us. The bill was 36 grand. So they said they were maxing us out at 8 grand a guy. So, but during the dinner, the rookies have to tell a joke, right? So they're like, Prusty, you're up. So I stand up. I go, hey, Dion, what sexual positions make the ugliest babies? He says, I don't know. Go ask your mom. So Dion, just everyone's dying laughing, right? And Dion's just not even a smirk. He's just staring at me. He calls the waiter over. And he goes, I'll take this and I'll take that. And it was like, 2 $2,500 bottles of wine, or I'm like, oh, that bill just cost us 5 G's, boys. that joke just cost us 5 G's. So that was one of the most expensive rookie bill that I was buying. So I don't remember anybody beating it the rest of my career. And then one time when we were playing credit card roulette, credit card game. I don't know how I see people calling it credit card roulette, but we always call it credit card game. So
basically just called pull of the hat kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was Ryan Callahan. I forget where we were, but the bill was about 8 G's, maybe more with the tip. I don't know, but there was about 12 of us, and boys were splashing the pot pretty good. I was sweating another one and going, oh my God, do not beat me, because I don't know. I was only making, I was probably minimum wage at that time. I think it was my first. Actually, maybe I was about
minimum wage. You said,
but it's still like a 10 grand bill almost. You're sweating on that. And but Ryan Callahan got it. And the thing is he got it the day before at lunch. That one was only probably a G, but he lost 2 days. He lost 2 days.
Oh. Hey, actually, I lied. I have one more here, and then we're going to our last question. Sorry, go on.
Oh.
Go on.
No, I was going to ask one more before you went to the last question. So
Nothing but
Brandon,
time here with Prusty,
who were
he
some
said.
of
Nothing but
what's
time, he
that?
said. Nothing but time, he said. Prusty said.
Yeah.
He said he'll send the invoice later. It's perfect.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Just hopefully we don't play credit card roulette for
That'd be
it.
off.
Who are some of the vets that kind of like I always hear on hockey podcasts, guys, taking care of the boys and stuff, taking the guys out and picking up the tab and stuff. Who were some of the guys when you were young in the league that would do that?
Good question, Tori.
Yeah. I was always in Calgary, like Robin Regier was kind of a guy that was,
Regsy.
was kind of good to us. And
Zasky boy.
Had him on hold.
Rhett Warner was a good vet that always looked up to. And then Iggy was a great guy as well. And maybe not going out as much, but a good leader and a good guy to look up to, and definitely make sure the rookies felt comfortable and were feeling good, right? And then New York was good too. Gaborik and Brad Richards, those guys were always good and taking care of it. Even Aves was good to the team, and he had his bar there and always brought the guys there and took care of us. So yeah, there was played with a lot of guys, generous guys, and they also played with a lot of cheap guys. So it balances out.
Hey, Gaborik, one of the most underrated players ever, I think.
Yeah, he was fun to watch. His wheels and his kind of that quick snapshot he had. He was fun to watch. Fun
The
to
Easton
play.
S17, he made that stick famous. Preston, I want to ask my last one, and then we're going to do our final question that we always do. Pranks. So, the old bubble gum inside the fingers and, nailing shoes down to the floor. Like, what are some pranks that you saw or maybe you did in your playing career? Maybe something that the players that are still playing, they don't know that you did something. So maybe some good pranks.
Oh, man. I used to pull pranks all the time. I remember PK just sewing up PK's pockets with all his stuff in. So when he goes to put on his shirts were all sewn up, and his pockets with all his keys and stuff were all sewn up. But I think one of the best ones, I told this story before, but PK, one time we played in Florida, and we had a kind of a meeting. We were staying over in Florida, and it was like, hey, and it was like PK and the other two captain or assistants that held this meeting, and they said no going to Miami, like when we were going to stay in Florida. This isn't a party. We're in Fort Lauderdale. We're going to stay and do stuff as a team. So the one night we hear before the game that PK was in Miami. And I'm like, fucking PK fucking went to Miami. He held a meeting saying we're not going to Miami. Then the day of the game, PK's got his little fucking knapsack. And I know he's got fucking clothes in there to go to Miami after the game. Like, I fucking know it in my head. And so I'm like, what do you got in the bag there, PK? He goes, a couple bottles of wine for my buddy. I'm like, okay. So after the game, we end up winning 4-1. I go into PK's bag in the change room, and I take out his dress shoes and all his clothes that he had for that night. And I chuck them into a cupboard. Like, he's never going to find them. They're gone. Like, his cupboard far away. So, like a week later, like, he's trying to find out. Nobody's ratting on me. Nobody's ratting. And PK finally in Toronto, last game of the season in Toronto, I can't find my cell phone after the game, and I got family visiting. I got to go see all my family and friends because we're in Toronto, right? And I'm like, PK, I'm looking around like, PK, you got my phone? He's like, I don't have your phone. I don't have your phone. I'm like, you got my phone? I know you do. And he's like, I don't have it. So I'm looking at her. I'm like, what did I do with my phone? So the dressing room attendant guy in Toronto, he goes, Prusty, he's like, I saw PK put something in his sock. And I'm like, oh, that motherfucker. So I run up, he's up talking to his family. I run up the stairs and I grab his ankle. Boom, there's my cell phone. And I'm like, you motherfucker. He goes, you took my clothes. You took my clothes. I'm like, no, it wasn't me, man. It wasn't me. That was fucking it. Someone ratted on me. But the guys did a good job. He was probably just hunting for weeks trying to get someone to tell him, because he was so pissed off. I threw his clothes out.
That's unbelievable. The old sock, hey? Falling in the sock. I love it. Brandon, I have one here, and this is what we ended off with. Some advice for a young listener today that's listening on what it takes to make it to the NHL or be a doctor, be a lawyer, whatever, successful in life. Just some good advice for a young listener listening today.
Oh man, without trying to sound too cliche, I mean, for me, I just kind of kept going. I didn't really even think about it, right? I just kept going, and even when I got knocked down, I kept getting back up, and I never really gave up on that dream. And since I was 4 years old, I was telling my dad I wanted to play in the NHL, and things kind of fell into place with the amount I worked. And yeah, like I said, there's a lot of times where you could easily have given up or just went a different route, but you find what you're passionate about. And even with what I'm doing right now, building a training facility, building a gym, it's something that I'm finding and trying to find, and a new niche, and something that I love to do. But I've always dreamed about doing that since I was 26, 27, working with lots of different trainers. And I was like, you know what, I want to take all the good things that I've learned and eventually do this. And I've been retired for 3 or 4 years now, and I'm just starting to kind of go, okay, I gotta do this, and it's going to be a lot of work, but it's been my dream, and I want to do something that makes me really happy. And so if you find something, or what you want to do that's going to make you happy, you got to stick with it, and you got to put in the work to do it.
Well said, Brandon. We have a lot of Ontario listeners, obviously being from out here in Saskatchewan, but we have a lot of American and Ontario listeners. Where can they find your new facility going up, or your websites, or any contact stuff for them that they can reach out to you?
It's going to be called BP8 Fitness, and it's going to be in London, kind of Hyde Park. And if you know London, Hyde Park and Gainsborough or Fanshawe area. So hopefully opening up September 1st. And we don't have the website up and going yet, but BP8 Fitness is what it's going to be, and branded as. So looking forward to it, and check it out in a few months.
Okay, man. Well, I appreciate today. I know Tori and I had a lot of fun. Let's do this again, maybe before you guys launch your thing. We can get you back on, and you can pump it up there. And I had a blast today, man. This is awesome. I appreciate coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks,
fun.
Brandon.
Yeah, no problem, guys. Take care.
You too.